Alright, here we are in the Kalos region, and you, the trainer, have decided you're going to go with the starter Chespin. However, there are going to be a lot of obstacles on your journey, and you are going to need to build a strong team around you and your starter. That way you can become a Pokemon Master. So without ado, here is the best team if you chose the starter Chespin. Let's get it! Yo, what is up, beauties? It is your boy, the one and only, the MikeMash, and I'm here today with a brand new video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys the best team if you chose the starter Chespin. This is going to be a brand new series on my channel, which is going to show you guys the best team to build around your starter. I will be making a best team video for all 3 Pokemon of each region, from the Kanto region all the way to the Alola region. In this video, I will be creating a team which will be different for each starter. That way, it can open up for some interesting team combinations. Also, I will try to make each team compatible for all of the games. That way you won't have to trade with another person with the opposite game. So for example, since X and Y are the only games that contain the Kalos region, I will try and make a team that works perfect for both games, so that way you won't have to trade with another game. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel to help grow the MikeMash Nation, and let me know if you want to see more videos such as this team building video. So without ado, let's get right into this list. Let's get it, let's go. First of all, let's keep in mind that throughout your Kalos journey, you are going to need to square off against the gym leaders, the bad guys, Team Flare, Elite Four members, your rivals, or your friends, and finally the Pokemon Champion. So yeah, first off we have Chespin, your starter. By the end of your journey you will end up with a Chestnut, and to be honest, it does pretty well against the first gym leader, given the fact that it learns Rollout at level 8. However, just to be safe, I would still catch a Fletchling on the way to Santaloon City, as it will be an important part of your Pokemon journey. Hence we have the first additional member to the team, which will be a Talonflame. With these Pokemon on your side, there really shouldn't be any problems going through the first gym. Once you get to Lumio City, you will be given an additional Kanto starter from Professor Sycamore. In this case, I will select Squirtle, as it does a great job serving as a very tanky water type that hits pretty hard as well, especially once you get to a Mega Evolution. This makes your life a lot easier in the long run. So far we've got Chestnut, Blastoise, and Talonflame. Now furthermore, once you get to Camphor Town, you're gonna have to go all the way to Route 6, where you're gonna have to catch 2 Pokemon that will also be included on your journey. One of them will be Honedge, and also a Helioptile. That already makes up 5 out of your top 6 team. But the truth is, these 5 Pokemon alone will already pretty much cover half of your journey, if not the majority of your journey. I mean, you won't have to worry about Grant and his Rock-type Pokemon, you won't have to worry about Karina either, and you won't really have to worry about Ramos, so you pretty much cover the next 3 gyms on your list. However, you do get to your 5th gym, which is Clement, and that's when your team seems to be a little bit at a crossroad. However, while you're on your way to Lumio City, you do have to go by Route 13, which is home to a lot of ground types. Hence why the 6th and final Pokemon on this list will be Gibble, which will turn out to be a very powerful Garchomp. Let me just tell you, with these 6 Pokemon alone, you can easily cruise through the game. Let me just reiterate, you will cruise through the entire game. In other words, game, set, match. There is nothing that can go wrong once you get these 6 Pokemon on your team. Let me just explain. First of all, Clement is no longer a problem. However, you may have to worry about Heliolisk as it does carry a grass knot, a little snake. But to be honest, there won't be too much of a problem. You've got other Pokemon on your team that can take care of it. It's not too big of a threat. Plus you have Chestnut, who is not only resistant to electric types, but also has a fighting move, Hammer-On, which will be able to take care of Heliolisk as it is also part normal and electric. So there goes Heliolisk and there goes Clement. 6th gym, Lavier City. With Valerie's fairy types, you won't have too much of a problem thanks to Doublade. Or Doublade, whatever you pronounce it. Correct me in the comment section below. Anyways, whether you have an A-Slash at that point, make sure that A-Slash has a King Shield. I will go over the movesets later, but I would go with A-Slash, and to be honest, being the Steel type, it will be able to cover the fairy types. And the Psychic types, well, you can use Shadow Ball, which will be able to cover the Psychic type. I mean, he only does have Mr. Mime, so that will be the only problem against Valerie. Also, if you want to take care of Mawile, and you're not really too confident with Mawile, to be honest, that won't be a threat either because you've got Talonflame, which would be able to take it out with a fire attack. And that pretty much takes care of Valerie. Going on to the 7th gym, Anastar City with Olympia. Again, you have A-Slash, which will put in work and pretty much take care of her. Also, if your Gabite evolves into a Garchomp by level 48, I believe it learns Crunch. So yeah, with Garchomp's high speed and high physical attack, you'll pretty much be able to take care of Olympia. So that won't be too much of a problem. And finally, with Wulfric in the Snowbell City Gym, there really won't be any contest. You've got Talonflame, you've got Chestnut, and you've also got A-Slash, which will be able to take care of it. Again, A-Slash pretty much cruises through the game. It is easily the most OP Pokemon in Pokemon X and Y, hands down. But let's leave that for another discussion. Now we can check the gym leaders off of our worry list. Now we gotta focus on Team Flare. First of all, Chespin is literally the greatest starter when it comes to facing off with Team Flare. Ironic, right? Since you would think Team Flare, fire types. Yeah, no, Chespin pretty much can cruise against Team Flare. The Team Flare grunts are literally no match, especially not with the team that you have. Once you get to Chestnut and you go up against Team Flare's leader, Lysandre, you won't have too many problems except for maybe Gyarados on the first attempt. However, that's why you've got Heliolisk. In fact, Heliolisk actually does pretty well against Honchkrow as well. However, as we know in our final battle with Lysandre, his Gyarados eventually Mega Evolves, which is pretty much an easy task for your Chestnut to pretty much take care of the job. So yeah, Team Flare was pretty easy. Anyways, now let's worry about your friends. Yeah, these guys. Starting off with Shauna, you won't really have too many problems, as she does have a Greninja, Delcatty, and a Goodra, which are all pretty much covered by your team. Next up you have Tierno, which can be easily taken care of as Corphish will be pretty easy for Chestnut. Then you've got Roserade and Talonflame, both of which can be taken care of by your team. Next up you've got Trevor. That won't be too much of a problem. You do go up against its Raichu, which does have Nuzzle, so that can be a pain. However, you do have your team which can take care of that. You've got an Aerodactyl and it also has a Florges. So yeah, other than Raichu's Nuzzle, you won't really have too many problems with this guy, given your team. And finally, you've got Serena and Callum, the two main rivals of the game. So depending on whether you choose to be a guy or a girl, he or she will have a Meowstic, Absol, Jolteon, and Delphox. The only thing you really need to worry about here is that Jolteon has the ability Volt Absorb, which could be a problem if you use any electric types, which you really won't need to, as it won't really help you. So all in all, you won't have too much of a problem, and to be honest, your friends won't be too much of a problem. I mean, they're your friends, they're not your rivals. Anyways, let's move on to the Elite Four. When you go up against Malva, you pretty much have Blastoise and Garchomp to take care of them. Against Wickstrom, you've got Talonflame, Garchomp, A-Slash, and Chestnut. Against Drasna, you've got Blastoise and Garchomp again. And then against Seabold, you've got Chestnut and Heliolisk. Really, you don't have a problem with the Elite Four. The Elite Four is pretty much covered. Now finally, on to the champion. All in all, her Gardevoir may give you a hard time given that it does Mega Evolve and it is her most powerful Pokemon. However, your team pretty much counters the rest of the Pokemon, and I mean, you do have 3 other Pokemon on your team that could handle the Gardevoir on its own. So regardless, you do pretty much walk through the game with these guys unscathed, if all goes well. Now it's on to their movesets. With Chestnut, I would personally use Bulk Up, Hammer Arm, Seed Bomb, and either Stone Edge or Earthquake. Either or would do well. Earthquake's a little bit more accurate, however this is on to you. Whichever one you prefer is fine. As with Blastoise or Mega Blastoise, I would go with Surf, Ice Beam, Scald, and Earthquake. Very simple and very effective in battle. With Talonflame it's a little bit tricky. First off, I'm gonna go with Fly and Roost as the main movesets. However, you do have a choice whether you want to go with Flare Blitz or Flamethrower, and Brave Bird or Acrobatics. Me personally in the game, I would go with Flare Blitz and keep out the Flamethrower as it has a high attack, and plus it is probably one of its strongest fire attacks, so I would go with that. And instead of Brave Bird, I would go with Acrobatics. That way you can avoid recoil damage from Brave Bird, plus Acrobatics does do a pretty good job, all in all. So in the end, it's up to you. However, these are the choices I'm going with. As for Garchomp, I'm gonna go with Earthquake, Dragon Claw, Crunch, and either Rock Slide or Flamethrower. This one is a little bit up to you, whichever one you want to use to handle the ice types. To be honest, I would go with Rock Slide given its high attack, physical attack to be specific, but however it's all up to you in the end. A-Slash, you gotta go with King Shield and Sacred Sword. These are the 2 rules of thumb. Every A-Slash must have a King Shield, and Sacred Sword, it's just a signature attack, so you gotta keep it. Then you've got Iron Head, and the choice of Shadow Ball or Shadow Sneak. If you want to hit first, go with Shadow Sneak. If you don't really care about that, then just go with Shadow Ball. And finally, Heliolisk, I would go with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, and Surf. The reason I'm saying Surf is because, for one, surprisingly it can surf, and second of all, Heliolisk has the unique opportunity to actually take out its weaknesses. I mean, its only real weakness is ground types. However, it does have a problem against fighting types. However, you've got your other Pokemon to take care of that. However, Surf does take care of one type coverage, which is always nice. So yeah, that's gonna be the end of today's video. So this is your final team: Chestnut, Blastoise, Talonflame, Garchomp, A-Slash, Heliolisk. All in all, this is the best team to choose if you've chosen the starter Chespin. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Stay tuned for the next 2 parts. I will be uploading one for the best starter if you've chosen the starter Fennekin, as well as Froakie. So be sure to stay tuned for more videos. Be sure to subscribe to be notified for the next video. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Without ado, this has been the MikeMash, and I'm signing out. Peace!